implement and enforce this legislation, I would certainly trust CJI.
Could someone from the agriculture or hunting community talk about why they're supporting this bill maybe 2 years ago?
I think they made me promise that nobody had to get up at the podium, but I think that everybody that's up here that's willing to comment will stick around and be available for one-on-one questioning. I wanted to drag them up here. They said, "No, you got it."
Do you see this bill as an evolving issue that you have to come back to in a couple of years and tweak, or is this done for foreseeable future?
I think that what we will do is always track implementation with any piece of legislation. If you've made mistakes or if new facts or circumstances arise, you go back in and re-examine it in subsequent years. But frankly, we designed this very carefully to try and avoid unintended consequences. The caution that sometimes does not go into legislation when it's being drafted in the heat of a session was something that we avoided in this bill. We got it done over the course of a year when additional thought and deliberation and new sets of eyes could look at it. Always, the General Assembly is responsible for reviewing its decisions of the past. But I think that this bill is very resistant to unintended consequences.
With the $250,000 to train officers, how long would it take an officer to, become well versed enough to know what they're looking for, and is that money just?
I think the whole point is that they will look to other states that have done this and try to emulate the best. And of course, these people have PhDs in criminology. I'd defer to them on that, on how best and how long it takes to train law enforcement.
For Representative Adcock?
I was kind of hard-headed when I was a police officer. It took long to train me.
You said, I'm going to try to get through my speech without tears. Talk about what's behind that, because I can tell you've invested.
That's going to bring up.
I can just tell you've invested so much in this.
I'm sorry. And Sue and I battled 2 years ago with this, and we felt we had a very good common sense bill. When it failed, there's no words to describe it. And as I told Dustin the other day, there's a lot of things I don't do all that smart, but I'll pat myself on the back and say I was one smart cookie the day I met with him and said, Dustin, let's work together on this. I need your help. And what was your question?
I said you wanted to get through your speech without tears. What's behind those tears? What brings them today?
I think looking back on the failure of our first bill, working day in and day night, it's just constantly. It's been our life every day for 9 months to a year. Working at the animal shelter, which is now we deem the Little Rock Animal Village, and I believe some of your reporters have been out there, and it's a drastic change. Seeing some of the abuse that comes into that shelter, you're fixing to get me. All of my dogs are rescue dogs. I've adopted every one of them from the shelter. To see the change in an animal, be it dog or cat, that has been abused, and then to suddenly be in a family, it's almost like a child. They know that they're safe. They know that they're loved. My first rescue, whenever I got her, she's German Shepherd. She'd been hit in the head with a 2x4, and she had a cracked skull. I knew I was going to have mental issues with her, and we still do. but we've had her for 6 years, and I can guarantee you that dog will protect me with her life. She will protect my family with her life. She never leaves my son's side. She will protect him. That's just an example of what we go through as people in the rescue world, so to speak. We see the unspeakable. We don't a lot of times advertise it. It's too hurtful. Doing the website, and I'm one that I do believe in euthanasia. I do. There's not enough people in the world to give an animal a home. My core belief is I would rather that animal to be put down in a humane way than to go on living the abusive life that they've had. And that's why I do support euthanasia. Now, we work like dogs to get them home, you know. But that's just not always possible. So, is that enough tears for you?
Thank you.
Well, I think that everybody is wanting to kind of break up, and I think that many of us will stick around for additional questions. So with that, I say thank you so much for being here. Let's go pass this bill.